Let's get going. Boom. Right. Be with you with the set, guys. Let me just pull all this together. Shareable link. On here. And then let's just put it up in the social. Be with you in a second. Apologies. Right. Let's go. Yo, yo, hello. Yo. Right. So obviously this morning our 5-hour prediction, right, was till 9. Here we expected our high in the last 5 hours, in the last section of the 5 hours, which is what we got. We have confirmed a transition. Obviously gone a little bit weak. Had news come out. Still looking mighty bullish. Obviously with New York to come. Let's see. Maybe we break this and carry on up. We are above the 0 line. Our higher time frame is bearish. Our expected close moment is bullish. We have broke up. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Came a long way. Okay, so for today's stream, we're going to be looking for some trades. And we are going to be... So what I've done is I've broken the hour into our 6 segments. Yeah. We've got segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, segment 4, segment 5, segment 6. I'll number them as we go. Segment 1, segment 2. So, what's the first thing that we see? This is technical analysis. This is initial data, right? So, this has given us already that indication that statistically, there's a 57% probability that this is our high. So what we want to see now, before we go in any bullish action, is we want to see this high go, changing the probability way in the favor of the bulls. So obviously it's only a slight advantage from a 50-50, 57%. Obviously we've had more time gone on, we're 4 minutes in, and obviously we start eating into that data. But right now, it's only an early signal. We are very bullish, right? Everything is aligned bullish or above. Lower time frames are below, so we'd want to see them come up. Our algo is predicting that we have a 64% probability of a bullish hour. See if we can take that high. How's everyone finding getting used to the data and the indicators? How are we getting on? Getting more familiar, becoming more. Okay, so we take the high, right? So now statistically we flip, and we expect this to be our low, which aligns with our bullish price action. Now we can look at our lazy boy setup. Lazy. We got New York Open in 15 minutes. We really should wait for New York Open. So obviously what we'd be doing is looking like so. Why am I'm on a stop? I want a limit. That's fine. So yeah, we'd be looking at a 1-to-1 from that high, right, with our lazy boy setup. Why? What do we want to do? Okay, we want data to be on our side, right? Now we're going to wait because of New York, but brilliant. I'm really, really pleased. Yo! Hey, thanks for joining. Great to see you. Oh my god, that trade was nuts. It was crazy. Couldn't have played out better, right? One tick from the low and we fly to the highs. Crazy, crazy. Hey, hey. So obviously, just to be clear, I'm not taking this trade because of New York, but I'm just going to talk through, obviously, the lazy boy setup and what it would be, right? So obviously, everything's coming in our favor. Bar here, you can see that we're red. Ideally, we want to see this being blue, and obviously, if we're down on the 15 seconds, you can see we're not even above here. So I don't like any of those things. So obviously I ain't taking the limit order. Now, statistically, the data is in our favour. Obviously, we have high volume kicking in shortly. But statistically, the data is in our favour, right? So right now, we've taken this high. Everything's bullish in our trend AI and everything else in our algo prediction is bullish. So right now, we're expecting price to go up anyway, yeah? We expect this to be our low. We are basically, segment 2 is about to be over. So let's say segment 2 is over, right? Let's go on our hourly stats. Here is our segment 2 for bullish lows. So we know that 73%, I should remember this straight away every time. 73% of all of our lows are in the first 2 segments. So when segment 2 is over, we know that 73% of our data is all gone. But we do still have a high in that segment as well. Hey, hey. What we really want to see is obviously the high go. So we don't have a high in the same 2 segments. It's now moved into segment 3, meaning that statistically we are much, much more favoured in the bullish. Now, having obviously the algo and everything else confirming our direction helps a lot as well. But what we're looking for is we're looking for highs, right? So we would have been tagged in here for our 1-to-1. We'd have been tagged in, right? And then we'd be looking for our high to go. Now, statistically, we're above 50% probability that that low won't go. And all of our data for the high is passed. So if that high is in segment 2, we know that, okay, well, 9% plus 7%, we've got like a 16% probability that that's our high, right? And we have all the data on the right-hand side to say we're more likely to be going up. Now, obviously, that's an early signal. We can obviously look for higher probability. For example, having both segments over is another confluence. Taking this high gives us even more probability. And obviously we can look for everything else to align as well. But basically you can set an alert. So we go into our alerts. No, that's ideas. Go into our alerts. We create an alert. We set it to V1. We want a buy signal. Oh, what am I doing? No, V1. Want a buy signal once per bar. Lazy boy. It's lazy because you can literally just set an alert, come to the chart, and statistically you know you're in your favour, right? And then what I want to do is I want to look at when does data not be in my favour. So maybe by the time we finish segment 4 or near halfway through segment 5, I might remove that limit order if I've not been tagged, right? But as you can see earlier on when we had this trade, right? So I'll just lay it out. We were in 1, 2, 3, 4. We came down to the lows. Obviously, we didn't take the low. You can see the wick. Let me put it on. Sure, on the one that I had, we were 1 tick away. Anyway, our stop was 1 tick below. Not on the low. It has to take the low, obviously, to confirm a new low. Maybe I was on a different feed. Maybe I was on something else. Anyway. We didn't take the low. We then expect our high in the last... we have got more data that we take the high. And obviously off we go and away we go. Right? You get the alert here. Maybe an early one. Set your limit order. Set yourself an alarm. If it's not hit by then, you want to get out. You can do that on multiple pairs. So obviously you're just getting an alert. So if you've got kids and you struggle to get time on the chart, you're busy working, you know, you're looking to try and get that financial freedom, but struggling with time as well and responsibility, which really messes with your head while you're trying to trade as well. Then having something like this, which is a statistical probability, is, and when you're taking the trades, you are statistically profitable because you're taking it in line with what is actually happening. And there's your road to profitability. It's as simple as that. We're in segment 3. Obviously, this is a completely new trading style. Completely different. There doesn't. This is obviously something that's never been done before. This data, the way that it is, the setup, it's completely new. Obviously, this would have been our 1-to-1, right? Would have been at the low. Would have been at the high. We've got 6 minutes until New York opens. How's everyone doing today? Has anyone had any trades? That's a big jump down. Oh, let me just check. Right, and there's our highest probability. Okay. So now with this confirmation, this is why you set it on these alerts. This gives you a 73% probability of the high being in, right? And we'll see how it reacts with New York. Obviously, high volatility, like New York Open and stuff like that, it can obviously the data can be a little bit skewed because it's half past, right? So it's right in the middle of an hour, and we have high volume kicking in. So often we can kind of get pumped in different directions. We saw yesterday that the data lined up. So obviously for New York Open, we would expect if this hour data was going to lay out, we'd expect that this is our high. I think it's going to be a bit of a messy one. So now obviously we'd be switching to sells. Oh, hang on. Fuck's sake. We'd be switching to sells. Now we've had our confirmation. We'd be setting our limit order. Obviously not for New York Open, just as an example. We get our full sell signal. Have our 1-to-1. Now obviously at the moment everything is against us. So statistically from the hour and our current trend, this will kind of make sense. But obviously our trend AI, our algo are against us. Ideally we want to trade everything all together. However, with the lazy boy, we are kind of focusing more on our statistical data, on our hourly data. But we can improve our win rate obviously by having as many confluences in line. Market structure, for example. Even the EMAs, Trend AI have gone under. Now obviously on the 15 seconds we were under, right? We said obviously to be bullish we need to come above, and we haven't been able to do that on the 15 second. That was one of my concerns for not taking the long. So if we weren't waiting for New York, we'd be, if everything was aligned, obviously you'd been tagged in. So $50, $60, $67, 72, 73%, 73%. Let's have a look at some of the other pairs. Gold, obviously we transition bearish. And we have held that on gold. And obviously we would have got some nice setups. Some good potential trades as we're coming under the zero line. ES. Where have we gone? Still not transitioned on ES. There's New York. So our proper lazy boy setup would have hit, right? Because we wait for our highest probability on normal signals. That gave us a 63% probability this was our high. And we had all this save 17, 30, 60. We had probably a 65% probability. 17, 18, so there's 35. 70% probability when we got tagged in there, that low was going. And there, obviously, you'd have got your alert. You'd have come to the charts. You could have set your limit order. And you'd have been done. And if you did that every time, statistically, you're going to be profitable. Now you can increase that likelihood by waiting for everything to align. Obviously, I start with the first 10 minutes and start kind of getting an idea of what I see and what potentially could play out. This is our lazy boy signal. As you can see, I set the alert up to be for when we get a signal, right? We did not get that signal. Did I do a buy? Yeah, I did a buy, not a sell. Let's create a sell. So we want a sell signal, which are your normals, once per bar. Lazy boy. Sell. You can see there, here's a gold signal. Early buy signal. Ooh. Have to check that, why the signals are slightly different. I'll have a look anyway. In segment 4. There goes the lows. We immediately start weakening on the trend. I was going to check what news we had come in. Anything coming up? Oh, just for an update, if you're in the competition, we'll be doing that tomorrow. So we'll be announcing the winners tomorrow. It's Thursday today. 9:45. We've got Chicago PMI. That's it. Let me just take my early signals off. Just want my normal signals. Wow, wow, wow. So obviously our 5-hour candle has come back to here, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So there was the start of our 5-hour. 1, 2, 3. So our high was there. So obviously on the 5-hour, we still got bearish structure. If we wanted to look at that, if we go to our 5-hour, where's our 5-hour? 5-hour. Should have a new candle. This is our first hour. Our 5 hours expected bearish. It's a sequence 5. Let's increase our stats to the 5-hour. You can see that's the start of our 5-hour candle. One, 2. I have to make this bigger. Hang on a second, guys. Let's have a look. And we got our 9, 10, 11, 12. Hang on, I've got to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the end of our 5-hour. There's our 5-hour segments. We're still in segment 1. Up the data a bit. 400 records on our 5-hour. right? Got 400 candles, but 334 bearish. So we see if we're going to go bearish. We have a 58% probability, 59 let's just say, in the first segment. That means by the time the second segment goes, again we're up in that magical 70% probability of being able to predict how our next probably just over 3 hours will go. Let's have a look at that. So our 5 hour is still bearish. What I am going to do is I just want to note, here is our first segment. This is going to give us our idea potentially of, see if we can get continued confluences in direction, right? So we're about to go, we've got a few more minutes before segment 4 is up. So do we think this is the low in New York? Do we think this is our low? We've got a low at 933. It's in segment 4. There's a 17% probability of it being in that segment. We've still got .53% probability of that low going. Oh no, sorry, yeah, we've got 53%. So not a huge advantage that this low goes, but still more likely. Only 30%. You including segment 4, 17%. So the candle is at 33. So segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. So we have our low in that data, right? So we don't include segment 4 data because we have a low there. So that would be all this data. Now we're looking at, okay, we've still got a bit of segment 4 left. So you've got one more candle to go. And then, obviously, here's your probability. It is still in favour. Absolutely, though, Aaron. This is normally where someone jumps on and says, it's that's a win for me, as they say. He's not here. It's normally Alexandria comes on. I took that. Let's see if we can take another lazy boy setup today. Wow. Are we really gonna not fly back up now? Yeah, carry on dumping. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, the sell-off has been huge, right? Huge sell-off. Who knows? We don't need to know. We just let the probability play us out. Don't stress about it. We're in segment 5. Whoop. Oh. Let's see what liquidity we've taken. Here we go. What other liquidity do we have below? All the way down here. Let's see what liquidity we've built above. Starting to build a bit more. Obviously, once we'd come up here, we'd taken a lot of the liquidity. Maybe we're engineering some more. Yes, sir. Which bit? The liquidity lines or everything? What would you want us to... which bit do you want me to explain? All of it? Liquidity? Which part? Are we going to take our low? Good morning. I haven't had to use any... I've had such lovely people in the chat. We haven't had our first troll. That's not an invite. I'm sitting funny. What is this? Fucking hell. The whole thing? Yeah, there's plenty of guys in the chat who have just bought it. And I have done a full video breakdown. Tried to make it really clear. But I'll go through it. It's, to be fair, I think after sort of a week, a little bit more, because it's the same thing over and over again, it becomes second nature very quickly. So let's go through it. Okay, I've got a nice explanation for you. While we expect that low to go, let's do the explanation. So this data here is a hourly candle, right? So, if I have my segment example, no worries, mate. Always here to help. It's one of the reasons I'm live, is to be here with you guys, right, and help out. Okay. This video, this explanation has its own video. It is up in the course when you purchase it. But here is an hourly candle, right? What we've done is we've taken an hourly candle and broken it into 6 segments. Equal segments, right? Showing in these stats. There goes our low. Then what we're doing is we're saying, is the candle bullish or is the candle bearish? If the candle's bullish, which segment was the low and which segment was the high? So where was our low and where was our high? And then we're collecting all the data for all the bullish and all the bearish candles and presenting that to you guys so that you can literally see statistically where's most likely, if I want to buy and if I want to sell, where's most likely I'm going to maximize my profits and reduce my risk. I knew he'd have it. Knew someone would come on and smash that trade. Well done. He's already done 600 for the day. Well done, well done, well done. Very good. Yeah, so we have it's basically like candle formation. So we've got a statistical edge around our candle formation of when it's happening. So that's number one, right? So there's our first statistical edge giving us our probability, okay? Does that make sense? This is an hourly candle. We're on the 1 minute chart, right? So this is an hour, which is a bit more than an hour, but imagine this is an hour. And then obviously we have our 6 segments, and we're looking at where we are. So if we look at our live example now, right, here we are in segment 5 of this hour. Yeah? Segment 5. So we've got one more segment to go for this hour. Right here. Go away. Okay. And our data is telling us statistically, obviously, when we had this low in segment 4, right? There's segment 4. So there was a 17% probability of getting a low in segment 4. But what we would do is look at, well, what is the data yet to come? So we've got segment 5 and segment 6. So we've got 18% plus 35%. So we've got over a statistical edge. We've got not a huge higher statistical edge, but a significant one. That we know that over 50% of our data is yet to come. Now we've taken that low. We know there's still a 35% probability that in this next segment we'll take that low. Okay? Then we have our algo. Our algo is an additional confluence that is letting us know what the expected close is of this bearish candle. Sorry, I'm on the 5 hour. Where have we gone? Move that out of the way. Okay. What is our expected close of this hour? Right. We've then got our trend AI. So this is one of my favorite indicators in the suite. I absolutely love it. And what this is doing is it is measuring correct edge. That is part of how we confirm it. It's not all of it. It is one statistical probability. So what we're doing is we're stacking statistical probabilities. So right now, obviously we've got that statistical probability, and then we stack our algo statistical probability. So the owl is statistically in our favor from our alignment. Our algo is statistically proving in our favor, and then we're adding our other confluences as well. So what this is doing, the trend AI, it's using multiple parts of the data, and then it's looking at, for example, like volume being part of it, and it's saying to you right now what percentage of the volume that's currently happening is compared to how price has been. Yeah, so you can see yesterday was a great example of the trend AI. Yeah, we pushed down as New York opens. As we're coming up, at no point did we even weaken, right? You can see it's solid. Let me show you what a weakened trend looks like. Here, we start weakening, it's still strong. Orange is a weak trend. Blue is a transition, and you can see that we've transitioned, and as New York opens, obviously high volume, we can flip, we then transition back, and we're now back bearish again, right? But you can see that that kept us, our bias going, we're expecting, and while that's strong, we're expecting to come back. So another confluence utilizing statistical data, right? The volume at this point is still higher than 70% of all the previous volume. We are still very, very bearish. Yeah, so statistical edge there as well. The difference between the sequences. Sure. So, what we've done is we've classified, it's so big, dropping down so much and running out of space. I mean, where's that gone? Right, let me explain what our sequence is. Okay. Let's do it over here. Nope. Let's do it over here. Okay. Drawing tool. You have a bullish trend, right? Everyone draws a bullish trend. Yeah? Right. So, our higher time frame let's say that line is our higher time frame, is bullish. Okay? So you can see our higher time frame is bearish. So this, we have a overarching, this is a bullish trend, right? And then we have candles. And inside of here, this higher time frame trend, we've got hourly candles, right? So as we're moving up, this is what this is predicting. Right now, in this bearish trend, right? So right now, imagine this was, I'll do it, I should have done it the other way. So in this bullish trend, what are we? So in this leg here, this sequence would be a very strong bullish trend, right? Okay? Now, when we start correcting here, we're still expecting what? To continue on up. This is a corrective sequence. Yeah? So then the algo would change to being corrective bullish. And it's saying, okay, we are correcting bullish. Our outcomes of corrective bullish are either a continuation or a reversal, right? If we end up in a reversal, the algo will switch to bearish in a bullish trend until that trend flips. Okay? So we have 4 different elements of a higher time frame trend. We can be bullish, strong bullish, we can be corrective, we can be bearish, right? Because this could all come all the way down to here, and potentially that's still a bullish trend, right? Because then we could then go into a corrective phase of a bearish trend. How many times have we seen this pattern and then break up? Right? So basically what I've tried to do in the algo is give you different market conditions. That is the highest probability if you wait for the first 20 minutes. I don't always, depending on all of the statistics that were added up. So this is a strong trend for the hourly stats, exactly. Yeah, we want to see the highest probability. If you wait for the 20 minutes and we've taken highs and you've got your signal, you're trading in a direction that gives your stop loss a 73% probability on NQ of not being hit. Just on this is a strong trend. This is a corrective trend. This is a strong trend. This is a corrective trend. This is a strong trend. This is a corrective trend. This is a bearish trend. This is a corrective bearish trend. This is a bullish trend. And what the algo is doing is saying, what are you in? Are you in a strong bullish trend with the higher time frame? Are you in a corrective bullish trend? Have you gone back into another strong bullish trend? Are you back in corrective? Back in strong? Are we back in corrective and now we've switched bearish but still in a higher time frame bullish trend? We've got a bearish corrective phase and now we've transitioned back into a strong bullish phase, right? So the algo is telling you, as you're getting these candles, what phase are you in? And what is the outcome of that candle? What do we expect when we've seen it? So, for example, the 643 times that this happened, what was the outcome? The algo is a confluence. It's another confluence, right? It just stacks up. What we want to do is we want to stack up probability. We want to stack everything up. We want to have hourly statistics on our favor, algo statistics on our favor, trend AI statistics on our favor. You know, everything stacking up to give us the highest probability of winning the trades. So, for example, if we're going to look for our lazy boy, yes, correct. It's probably a good idea to lay it out like that. I'll do another video, and Tony T-Bone is building out all the PDFs. Nice one, mate. Congratulations. Well done, Jing. Congratulations. DR can be a great trading method, especially obviously if you add other confluences to it as well, like market structure. Talking about market structure, let's have a look at our market structure. So we're in segment 6, right? So we've got our low in segment 6. So statistically, our low played out for this bearish hour. Now we might be looking for a trade as we go into the next hour. We are 7 minutes in, right? So we're nearly finished with this segment. Right up here, remember we had our lazy boy setup. Obviously we didn't take it just because with New York opening. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But we don't do no hindsight trading. So for example, to talk to you on the top rock, on top of the rock, here was my 3R trade. So we got to this point, right? Everything was super bullish. When we printed this candle, right, we had a high probability of being bullish. Statistically, over 50% probability of this being our low. So when that came, I grabbed it with small risk. Yeah. And then I took my profit about there. Obviously news is again unpredictable, and we don't recommend the statistics around news. News can do what the fuck it wants. Okay, what's the difference between the blue and the red green? I've got a perfect example for you. Bear with me a second while I just build the chart. I removed it. Being a pain in the bum, that I am. Or maybe I've got it on Tesla. There you go. We can have a look on Tesla and do it on that. Okay. So, Tesla obviously opens during New York, closes at the end of New York, okay? Where is the beginning of the hour for Tesla? It's at past, right? So if I go on to hourly candles, each hourly candle starts at past, not on the hour. So what it did was it built the late signals to look at, doing the same thing as the normal signals, but waiting until we are through the segment. In fact, I'm wondering if I've got an older version. I'm sure I re-added all of the V1s. Let me see. Bear me a second while I just set up V1. Did put out an update. I'm wondering whether that update has rolled back. Let me see. Bear me a second, mate. My maths would have to be on. Ah, okay. I'm getting confused just because that's what I need to change. Sorry, my head was just getting a little bit lost then. I just set this up. Okay. Right, so my half past to half past is my hour. And then you can see here that 20 minutes in, and we take the low on segment 2. So for example, segment 2 would be, so if we start at half past, would be here. And you can see at that point, when we got that sell signal, which is happening now, with Tesla, we have a high here, 64% on the bearish highs, 13%. So we had a 78%, 78% probability when we took that low that this is our high, right? With still to come 30, 48, 50, 60% probability that the lows are going to go, right? The blue ones are not early. Blue ones are the late ones on the normal statistics. If you are trading New York trading hours or regular trading hours, the blue ones become your normal signals. So if the statistics are better, so I'm going to show you that example now. If you were to trade YM, right? Okay. So this is the data for YM. I'm going to zoom in. This is the data for YM. Okay. Let me do that. This is the data for YM. Okay. I'm going to switch to regular trading hours. Okay. 66% probability. If I switch back to electronic using normal hours, you can see that the statistics drop, right? So, with YM, when we're trading New York, we want to be trading the New York regular trading hours. We want to use half past to half past. And we want to use the late signals or the blue signals as our normal signals because statistically, we are trading a 66% probability in our first segment. So we're already up nearly 80% by segment 2. It's an incredible stat. Right? And if we... So you might say, okay, Andy, that was only... wasn't a lot of data. Well, there's 918 bullish candles, 60.68% in the first segment. Huge statistics. So obviously you can see that the advantage for, if I switch back to electronic, statistically we're better trading YM on regular trading hours at half past. Okay? Right, so let's look at YM on the 1 minute. So statistically, we took this low, right? In segment 2. That means this was going to be our high, right? Oh, you can't see, I'm sorry guys. Fucking idiot. Okay, here, this is YM, right? half past. First, half past. First segment. Second segment. We took the low in the second segment. We've already had the second segment over. That meant that we were statistically already 60, 70, 76%, 77%, 77% probability this was our high. So when price comes up like this, statistically, it's in our favour that ain't going to go, and it's more likely that you are going to go. We had one of those today on the live stream. Came two ticks away from our stop, reversed in the last when we expect to see our lows, and took out the low. Okay, so that is the late signals, and the normal signals are using normal hours. Okay. Now, if we were to do the same with NQ, the statistics don't improve, and therefore we don't trade NQ with those statistics because they are not as favourable. They're still pretty good, but just not as strong. Right, I need to make sure I've got everything aligned. I'm on the 1 hour. Tracking the 1 hour. So we finished our hour, right? We are 7 minutes in. So we are looking for something to give us that edge. What have I just done? Control Z. Put that back. Just going to get rid of my numbers. Leave that there. So we've already taken the low of the previous hour. There's the low. We've already taken it. Now, if you remember yesterday, there is a 73% probability that we take the 9 o'clock open here. And usually we do it sort of most statistically of the time within this sort of period. If we're going to go up there, we expect our hourly to start forming in a way that we can see that happening. Right now we're bearish. Everything is still very bearish. We've transitioned. That transition has been complete. We are back bearish. Everything is under. Our algo is predicting there's a 74% probability of being bearish. We want to wait. Make sure everything else aligns, right? I am definitely not going to have time to go and play golf. Doing all these lives. So we'll be launching an official Lazy Boy PDF, the setup, the trade, back tests, the whole caboodle. Here, last hour, there's a sell signal. Are you talking about this is this hour? You might have got a late one there if you got a blue one. No? Yeah, there's a, you talk about this late blue one. There's no earlies yet. If we take that high, we'll get an early one, but yeah, I've got them off. Or have you got, let's see if it's on, probable. Just had them off before. Yeah, this one. Yeah. That is our price action signals. $9.58. Are you set to? That's the one, yeah. Yeah, that's our probable signals. Yeah, on the EMA uses more candlesticks rather. It's not based on probability. It's the only signal that we don't have on probability. Obviously, if you don't want them on, you can tick them off here, or you can have them on. Sometimes they can be nice when they show up at the right point. Yeah. So these signals are based off of price action. They can be some great ones at the right time with the data aligning, which is why I included them in the pack. There is no statistical advantage to those, just price action. But obviously they will follow you on any time frame, right? So we can see on the 30 seconds, we got one at the top and we got one here. So sometimes there can be nice snipe entries, especially with strong trends. They're not algo based, no. They're the only ones that are not. But I liked them enough that I felt they provided enough value to keep them on. Because you can see they're pretty good. Okay, so we take this low. Can someone tell me what is our probability of this being the high right now? So we've gone into segment 2. We've taken the low. What's the probability of this being our high? For the hour. Right. So we've taken the low in segment 2, which means we expect it to be the high. Perfect. 56.8%, correct. So you already have a statistical advantage of this being our high, right? Your data might be different depending on the time frame that you're using. Obviously, if I go up and down candles, I'll get more data, less data. But obviously, I'm using the 1 minute chart. I'm on TradingView Premium, so obviously the max bars I can get. And yeah, we've got 206 bearish candles. And we can see 56.8% of the time. So for example, right now, obviously it's not a high enough probability for me, but you know, if you were to take a 1-to-1 at this point, you are still statistically winning. You're just going to lose a little bit more, obviously, you know, 40 odd percent of the time. But still statistically a winner. What we really want to see is the logo again. Yep. Wait and let our statistics and all of our data line up, right? Yes, yeah, I did. I was live. I've actually had 2 trades this morning. Obviously, our lazy boy setup is once we have a signal, not before. So we want the highest probability. So this was our lazy boy setup. We did come back and tap the 50%. Obviously, we've just tapped the 50% there. Statistically, we should take the low. And obviously, that would have been a successful 1-to-1. But I haven't taken it. We can talk about it, but we haven't taken it. So Trades that I took. I mean, it's definitely worth going on the live this morning and watching. Just go to the trade replay because it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. We had a 70. We were up like 73, 76% probability the low was in. We had data ahead of us that the high was going to go. We set our limit order at the 50%. We put our stop below, and we targeted the high. Right. It was crazy. Obviously, all this was during the live stream. So, we were in here. Wrong way round. We were in here. And we had our stop one tick below. It's probably, well, I might have had that low wrong, but we were 2 ticks below like this, right? And statistically, this was our low, right? And there was much more high probability of that high going. We got tagged in. It came down. It literally did tick the low. I thought it was 1 tick away, but looks like, I don't know whether NQ is slightly different. Was I don't think I was on NQ, but anyway. We didn't take the low. And we reversed there and put in our statistical high in the last quarter. T-Bone rode it all the way. Then text me. I was live, yeah. This morning. Jumped on just to do our 5-hour prediction. So obviously when I jumped on, we were back here, right? Done our 5-hour prediction. And then when we'd come up and we took this high, I was like, okay, well statistically this is our low. Obviously this could have been a good trade. I was here later on. So obviously when we took this and we went into this hour, statistically for the 5-hour, we were expecting our high here. I set a level, which was about here, which was our high probability 5-hour high. You'll see it all in the video. We obviously opened up, gave a statistical edge, took the trade, played out. I then also took a trade here. Not off this buy signal, though that was still a good buy signal. I took this trade here. Statistically, it was in my favour. Obviously, we'd got to this point, 50-odd% probability. Algo was very, very strong, 90-odd% probability. I took this with minimal risk and took 3R. Hey Zoo, a lot of traders are complaining that algorithms seem to behave a bit differently during election week. Do you see any confirmation of this in the statistics from your indicator? I haven't done any data on election week. I'm not seeing any difference in the data at all on the lives in terms of what's happening right now. Like, I'm not seeing anything different. Everything's aligning up. Everything's playing out as it does. The only time really where the algo and the statistics mess up is just during really, really high volatility or really, really low volatility, and then every other point we seem to play out as expected. All right, so we take the high. That now gives us a much more statistical edge. We are last candle, so segment 2's done, right? So now we're still expecting to close bearish. So we've got our algo flipping, our data on the hourly projecting that we're going to go up. We've had a very, 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 very strong move down. So it's not unforeseeable that we have a little bit of bottoming out. Remember, our 9 o'clock open is up here. Statistically, there is a 73% probability that we fill this. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything abnormal. Trading as normal. Taking my trades as normal. Obviously, I I trade with everything aligned, right? I trade with the hourly aligned. I trade with the algo aligned. I trade with the trend AI aligned. I trade with the dynamic TP, everything, market structure, the lot. I trade with everything aligned because that gives me the highest probability. I've got statistics, all aligned. I've got data, percentage-wise, in my favor. That volume is percentage. I'm in the right volume. Do you know what I mean? Like I have a high directional volume. This is probably the only price action sort of indicator that we're using. Obviously the EMAs, they don't, you know, EMAs just always come aligned when everything else is aligned anyway. I just have them on, used to looking at them, I suppose, just like looking at them. Never really traded them like that. Never really traded EMAs. Just like looking at them. They were just a good, easy, without thinking, can see what we're seeing. Okay, if we take this high now, that gives us a little bit more confirmation. We're going to change to a bullish. Now remember, our lazy boy setup is based off of when we get a signal. I might be preempting data, and that's fine, but our actual system is when we get. So what have I done? Make that green. So if we take this high, that will give us a lazy boy setup. Again, looking at our confluences, we haven't got loads in favor. 15 seconds coming up. You can see that we leveled out here and we're starting to push higher. See if we can come over that zero line. Okay, so this low is now 58, 68, 73%. I'm going to be precise. Plus. Now we have the right sort of size of data, yeah? 57% is favourable, still highly in the middle. Fair inverse fair value gap, but this be this here. Right, that was fair value gap, we inverse it, yeah? Am I right there, Pickles? So let's just, we didn't take that high. How did we? No, we didn't. So this is 73%. Yeah. So obviously, like you know, I think that traders should find what fits with them, you know, like what they enjoy doing. And these, a lot of the time, can be confluences towards however you want to trade. Just helping you to kind of have those, the rules and the tick boxes to be trading with probability as well as your own system. Or alternatively, you know, that's why I've put the setups in there, that people, if they like it, like the way I trade, then, you know, you can kind of adopt elements of it. I would have liked for us to have taken this high, right? Just given us that high in segment 3. Yeah, brilliant. It's why I didn't do a mental shit. Appreciate that, buddy. Because I didn't want to be. It wasn't about teaching people like the way that I trade. It was about creating something that can help all traders, just to add a little bit of a statistical edge, right? Now you've seen me trade for the last couple of weeks. For the lazy boy, yeah. I mean, you do want. That's why it's built off of the signals. Gives you that full confirmation. Right now, okay. Any idea on the recent scalping data? Correct. It is more than just a strategy. Yes, there's different ways to cut. Different ways to use it, isn't there? But at the end of the day, it's just as. Right now, this is a statistical model of how an hourly, or how any hour or any candle works, as well as some confluence around prediction and the current prediction you've got. Like I said, it's not the be all and the end all. That's why we don't just have this. It's again an additional confluence to everything else. Drum roll. Drum roll. Why am I drum rolling? What's happening? Drum roll. What's going on, T-Bone? Have the option to put you as a timeout. What the hell? Look, buddy. Is that yeah? Is that here's the inverse fair value gap, right? So we've just tapped in that inverse fair value gap here, right? We have crossed red again on the 1 minute on the trend direction. Let's have a look at the lower time frames. 15 second was failed to go up. See if that 15 second can push back above again. 30 second is still green. We want to see that 15 second tick along. 10 second has come under. Should see that change pretty pronto. Exactly. Well, statistically, right? You've got the hourly statistics in your favour. Obviously, if we'd have just taken that high, then I might have been either on the 50-50. Again, I like everything aligning. You've seen, obviously, like I waited through all yesterday. There was many trades that I missed that we could have taken. But, it's all good. I'm just pleased to see people succeeding. I love seeing people win. Love seeing people succeed. So future developments, obviously one of the things that we are going to do is we have our hourly data and all the additional hours. Herman, just to confirm on the micro scalping, I've obviously been mad busy on the lives and everything else. It's just meant I haven't had time on the development side. I am going to have a go over the weekend to see how quickly, how long it take me to convert into a scalping strategy. Some of the issues I have are going to be when some of the stuff's ready, it's making it visually easy for everyone. The visual side is one of the harder things to deal with, right? So yes, we'll see how the weekend goes. Hopefully I'll have some news for you next week. What I'm trying to work on at the moment is, obviously I've already done it, so I can change the hours, right? So we can have 2 hours in that. It's just how do I visually show that to people. I'm struggling getting that done. At the moment, obviously we can release it. You can get the data, but then you're going to have to manually lay out your time. At the moment, yeah, it is everything on my own. This is one of the reasons why we charged for Max Algo, because my goal is to build a team, have a team of developers, so that the concepts and the ideas that I have, we can push forward a lot quicker and get these things out. Nice reversal. Remember, data's on our side for the hourly. So we've at least got the hourly data. Yeah, at the moment it's a two-man team. There's me and T-Bone. I just know Pine Script. That's all I taught myself. Nothing else. Obviously, when we launched Impossible last year, I was working with a dev. It was taking forever. It was costing money. It was difficult. Then obviously came into this year and I was like, I need to be able to kind of do this myself. And that's where I've disappeared off to for the last sort of 7 months, is getting my head around everything, putting it to play. Nope. The only thing it won't work with is the algo. You can backtest everything else. The reason being is because this is set to an hourly chart and this is set to a minute chart, because we're predicting an hour. So obviously when you replay it, you can't have this on the chart. So you can't replay 2 charts. It just causes a bit of a bugger. Otherwise, yeah, you could. Obviously, we'll be doing some back testing on the Lazy Boy. We'll be doing some back tests, some data for you on it. Should be nice. Can you do all charts in a replay? I didn't know you could do all charts. I learn something new every day. How'd you do that? How'd you do replay? If you hit replay, you can select multiple. I didn't know this. Bear me a second. Ah. Guess what I'm going to be playing with? Maybe we can do some back testing. Yeah. Thank you so much for telling me that. I cannot tell you. Hello, Alexander. Are we going to hold this low? We got DZ in the long. Ooh. Let's go. Come on. So obviously, let's just break down this hour, yeah. So we have our first segment, second segment, third segment. We're in our fourth segment, right? Now, what I don't like is we have a high and a low in segment 2. Don't like that. Ideally, we want to see that kind of go. But because we took the high in segment 1, right, we still kind of favour that we're more bullish. Unless we get a signal. If you get a buy or sell signal, that is confirmation of that, like, very, very high probability. Which is why on the other setups we wait for a signal. Come on, let's go. Push, 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 push. Yeah. Obviously from a long point of view, we obviously do have some statistical advantage for the upside, guys. We obviously have a lot of selling pressure, but we have the 9 o'clock open. Very simply, it's 73% probability the 9 o'clock open gets hit. So my favourite time to trade is segment 2 and 3 and 4, right? Really want to see the first 10 minutes play out. Once we get to the end of segment 2, I've got a lot of data in my side, right? We have got all this data, right? So if we're going to go long, we're above 70%. If we're going to go short, we're above 70%. It's just all that data in my favour. Plus, if I'm looking for the highs, I've got all this data to the right and all this data to the low. Woo! What I do want, though, is all my confluences aligning. You know, like I do have my rules that are, you know, I want everything aligning. I want trend AI. I want dynamic TP, algo. I want it aligning. Market structure. So for me, I personally obviously cannot take longs until those things are aligned for me. The last two segments are where I'm looking to take profit. So it's not where I want to get in, it's where I want to get out. Right? The last two segments are my profit time. So you can see we take that low here. That kind of gives us what we were looking for. Here we're taking this high. Right? That gives us more probability now of being a bearish hour, which is obviously what our algo predicted. Right? Predicting a bearish hour. To have a bearish hour, we need to close below this low. So we will see. Might start pumping now, but we'll see. Cheap trade. Not to worry. Maybe that was the liquidity grab that we were looking for before pushing up, possibly. Let's have a look at our 15 seconds. 15 seconds, very slow. Just about starting to turn. We'd want to see that cross above the zero line, especially on the 15 second to be bullish. At no point you can see have we crossed there, or during this point we've been below the zero line. We want to see it go above, right? not sure if I want to trade. You know what? I'm thinking about moving the live to be nearer the end of the market. Let these sort of first couple of hours play out where it can get a bit slow, and trade nearer the end on live. What do you guys think? Right, we're in segment. It's that low. Apologise, guys. Have another drink. I've done a lot of lives this week. A lot of recordings. And it's half term and I've still got 4 kids. Yes, there's a live tomorrow. I want to complete the week. A full week of lives. This time's great. No worries, I'll keep to it. Yeah. I'd wait till later. We're going to hold off. Happy Halloween, everyone. I should have come in my ghost costume. No, it's not down there. Trick-or-treating later. Alright, I'll keep to this time then, guys. It's no problem for me. It is easier from a point of view. Kids are at school. Not right now, but is easier. Happy Halloween. The kids ready? Nearly. Gonna go knock on doors. Trick or treat! In the UK, it's not as like it is in America. Usually get a tea bag thrown at you. You can see here, look, we've obviously still red on the 1 minute. Very bearish. Get rid of that with no confirmation. The Lazy Boy setup. I can absolutely explain the Lazy Boy setup. There's going to be a dedicated video. Same here in Austria. There's going to be a dedicated video and section and PDF coming out for the Lazy Boy. Obviously, for people who work, commitments and struggle, it is going to be your statistical edge to profitability. Let's get rid of that stress. Make it nice and easy, right? So, obviously, I don't obviously like New York Open are kind of ones that I'd like us to kind of stay away. So let's just ignore New York and do the one that I took. Let me just hide that so we don't get those signals. Okay, right. So when we got this buy signal, right, that confirmed that statistically I think it was about that. Right, that confirmed there was a 73% probability that was our low, right? Okay. So, do you understand why? Segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, okay? So when we take that high in segment 3, if we were to be bearish, this would be our high. So if we were to be bearish, we've just put a high in segment 3. That means there's a 9.22% probability plus these, because it could go slightly higher and then come down, that is our high. We've lost this data, right? But we do have a bullish low in that period. So statistically, there's a 73% chance that that's our low. Right? Compared to like a 20% 5% probability that that's our high. So it's more likely, when that takes that high, confirming, more likely, we're going to see it's a bullish low. Okay? So, when that confirms, when that buy comes in, bam, it's confirmed. The buy is also timed, right? To give you optimal time to still have time to trade. Because let's look at the high. So we put our high in here, right? So if we're bullish, we get our high in segment 3. What is the statistical edge that this high goes? Let's go back to our statistics. So this is segment 3. 1, 2, let's draw it on. Draw on, I'll draw on. Segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. Here's our high in segment 3. We go to buy to say look for bullish data. This is our low, that's the first candle. Okay, right. Let's go back to our data. Clean out. Okay, so we're bullish and we have a high in segment 3. Now, there's a 13.96% probability of a high in segment 4. There's an 18% probability of a high in segment 5, and there's a 41% probability. So basically, in the last two segments, we've got 41, 51, 59.5. All right. 59, yeah, 59% probability of the high being in that last two segments, and we have plus a 13%. So while we're still in segment 3 and segment 4, our probability is up in the 70%, right? 59% probability in the last two quarters. So here at this time, we've got over a 70% probability this high goes. Okay? We get tagged in here at the 50% point. We get tagged in, right? Because we go into segment 4. And what is there? There's a 73% probability that this is our low. And obviously as we move through sectors that increases. But this also decreases. So when we go into segment 5, we know we've still got over a 50%. We had a 59% probability that our high was going to be in these two sections. Yeah? In these two sections, we had a 59. We had over 70 in these two sections. So we get tagged in. We come down. We don't take the low. We've got our stop 1, 2 ticks below it. And we reverse. And put in our high. In the last segment, right? Now, if I'm taking this as a one-to-one, as long as I'm taking the trade and I'm getting tagged in, while the probability is still higher, when I take that trade, statistically, I am more likely to win than I am likely to lose. And if I have a one-to-one, probability is in my favour, I've got a 73% probability as it goes higher, my low won't go. This is just saying the high will go. It doesn't mean the high won't go in the next hour, right? Because we're always making sure that everything's aligned when we take it as well. But statistically, I'm profitable. Now you can set an alert. So you get alerted when you get the buy signal. And then simply set your limit order. Set a time. If you end up getting to like sort of near, I would say, you know, sort of 35 minutes in and you haven't been tagged, remove the limit order, wait for the next signal. You don't have to be at the charts, don't have to be hanging around. There we go. What confluences did we have for the upside? Nothing. Other than in the initial potential, then when we closed 2 hours, that we had a higher probability, sorry, was data move on, that this was our low. But other than that, we didn't confirm it. We didn't take the high to give us our signal. Market structure was bearish. You can see we're under the 0 line. We turn red. Everything's under the 0 line. Our EMAs are bearish. Our trend AI is strong bearish. Our algo was predicting a 74% probability of bearish. Therefore, we weren't looking at anything yet. We do have a couple of bullish signals. 73% probability we tag that level. It's not enough of a probability for me. Now, let's have a look at something interesting. Let's look at our 5 hour. Oh my God. Lock. Lock. What the hell's a lock? Don't move. Okay. So we started our 5 hour candle. Here. For our 5 hour candle, this is segment 1. This is segment 2. This is segment 3. Okay. So what have we done? We've taken the low in segment 3. Correct? So let's have a look. We're in segment 3, right? We're in segment 3. Therefore, we've taken the low. Let's look at our 5 hour data. I'm going to go up the time frames. So I'm going to go to the 10 minute to collect more data. I'm going to zoom in on our hourly stats. Okay. So, if we've taken the low in segment 3, if we were to go bullish, that would mean there's an 8% probability that that was our low for a bullish candle. And we have obviously this statistic to be going bullish. Now, we've taken the low in segment 3. So the probability of that being our high, right, is 58.98 plus 13.17. So 68, 72%. And when segment 3 finishes, we can add the 10% on top as well. So right now, we are at least a 70... Did I say 73? I think I said 73. So we 73. 73%. This is our 5 hour high. Our 5 hour is in a sequence 5. So I changed the chart time on the algo to be 5 hours. And you can see current 5 hour candle has a 64% probability of closing bearish. We're in sequence 5, which means the last 10 hours. No. 20 hours. This is the 5th candle. So the last 20 hours, we've been in a bearish 5 hour, high probability bearish sequence, right? So with the next hour, take the low. Yes, we answered that question. Okay, let's go back to the chart. Okay. So our 5 hour is saying we're expecting bearish, right? We've confirmed potentially this is our low. So we're in segment 3. What is the current probability that this is our low? Let's go back to the data. Move it so we can see this in. So I've set this to 5. This is showing our data at 5. This is coming soon for you guys. And you can see, okay, we are bearish. So here's our highs. We've just put our low in here. What's our probability that that's the low? Okay, well, 18% plus 10%. So we got 28%, 36%. So we still have, I'm going to use calculator, 12.28. So this quick math. Today, I have not got the brain. $37.72. A 62.56% probability that that isn't our low. 62.56. Yes, it is probably probable. This is all future stuff. This is part of, as we grow, are able to bring in developers that we can then really start improving them, which is why when I say to you guys, this is just the beginning. This is literally just the beginning. I've got a lot of things planned. For example, you know, I want to make it as easy as possible for everyone. Some of it is out of my ability to be able to build it. Obviously, I continue to add where I can and try and improve. But once we bring on that full-time developer, we'll obviously be able to work on more complex data. Okay, so right now that's 60% chance. Low goes in New York. Exactly. Exactly. Like, we're going to be doing this for years and years and years and years, and this is just the beginning. So much more to come. We are going to remove the lifetime product. That was only ever a launch. So it doesn't matter whether it keeps taking it in segment 3. It doesn't matter. Okay, right guys, I'm just going to drop back down to the hourly. Let's see if we can catch a trade on the hourly. Let me hide that. Set back up for the hourly. Okay. So we're starting a new hour, right? Sequence 3. Strong bearish. 69% probability. This is also our low for the hour, for the previous hour. We can see obviously structure is very, very bearish. Hope you guys see that I don't just jump in on trades. One of the things I was really conscious to kind of showcase was that happy to wait and patience. Next, I think it's either going to be at the end of the weekend or the beginning of next week, we will remove the lifetime. I will let everyone know before we do. I'll give everyone 48 hours notice before I remove it. You get 72%. My math's wrong. I am tired today. Let me have another drink of water. Let's go, Pickles. I want to be able to put a dinosaur in chat. How did you do that? Oh, we can start a poll. Start a Q&A. Don't know what I'm doing. I can't even see this. What should we improve? That's working better. Switch back to chat. So obviously anyone who's got it, it's fine. You've got it. Don't worry about it. It's more about new buyers. Obviously, it's way too cheap. But it was always about the launch and giving people opportunity and for us to get going as well. There is still a discount available. I think there's still 10%. I think you can use the code Lifetime. It was in the live yesterday. I know T-Bone put it in. No worries, buddy. You know, I'm not... I will, if you let me know, I will let you know. I haven't taken any trades. No, we had trade before New York. I had 2 trades before New York already. 2 winners. We didn't have anything. We just didn't have it quite line up for us on the short side. Didn't get the data matching up. We had everything else, just didn't get the data on the hourly. But we were not looking for longs. We were only looking for shorts. Okay, obviously we get a new low. We're still in segment 3 on our 5 hour. So we're still expecting that low to go with high probability. Let me check that 5 hour data again. Make sure I get those stats right. Bearish lows. We're in segment 3. So we've got segment 4, segment 5 and segment 6. I'm not including segment 3. I'm only including the next 3 because we've got them yet to come. But you could include some of the data. Just I like to be a worst case scenario. Try and yeah, 62.57. But then if you do add on segment 3, which is where we're currently at, it's up at 80%. Yeah, that's what I've got. 62% on the loads. If you include the current segment we're in, which is segment 3, obviously you'd have another 18%, right? You'd have segment 3 data here. And segment 3 ends... It's not that one. There we go. So segment 3 ends here, so we've still got quite a way. So you still could include segment 3 really. 18% in segment 3, which takes you up to 80% probability that obviously lows are still going. I have to keep moving this. Right, we are 6 minutes in. Hopefully we can start aligning some data. Yes, sir. Yes, you can. Here's our 3 minute. Here's our 5 minute. So DR's confirmed short. I don't know why there's a 20-second delay. Just streaming on YouTube. Right, we get a bit of a push up now. $15 is still below, right? So you can see when we had that previous hour, 15 did not go above. So even though we had that nice push up, we were still remaining very bearish, even on the lower time frames. I can see. Was there a alert? Not sure. An alert for what alert are we waiting for? Which alert? We've got buy signal alerts, sell signal alerts, weak trend alerts. Was there an alert? There was this one here, but obviously that was at the end, and that's not a. I don't trade these too much. Very rarely I'll use them, but I have them on. You know, sometimes they can. Like this one's fairly early, right? That's not. It's in a kind of our where we want to optimize. Alert on 3 minute and 5 minute. Alert. I don't know what you mean, mate. I'm afraid to say. I've got a 3 minute chart. I have no alert. I don't think I've got anything. Sorry, Paul. Are you talking about Trend AI? I only use the alert on the 1 minute. I only use the alert on the 1 minute. I don't use it. Talking about Trend AI, I don't use it. I only use it on the 1 minute. My alerts, you can see that they are set to 1 minute charts. 1 minute charts. Yeah, when you build your alerts, obviously they are based off of the chart time frame you build them on. So for example, if you use candle close and you're on a 5 minute chart, it's going to wait for that 5 minute candle to close. You can do the alerts on the 5 and the 3, yeah? Do them any time frame. Just when you set those alerts up, just remember to do them on the on the 3 minute chart, and it'll work for you. This is annoying me. So right now, we've pushed up. Segment 1 is over. We're in segment 2. We want to see lows going, yeah? helping us to give that confirmation that we expect our highs in. We've changed back blue again. Put the ultra low latency. Ultra low. Let's go into settings. Stream. Output. I have seen it. Output. I'll have to look after stream. It's the same one I had yesterday. Snap sensitivity, cursor. Video bitrate, the encoder. Oh, sure. I'll have a look where the settings are for the ultra low. Let's see if we take this low. Remember, guys, we're going to finish up early today because it is Halloween. Going to be going trick-or-treating. We'll see if we get a set up this hour. Okay. I'm going as a successful trader. No, just a miserable dad. That's my Halloween costume. Walk around with my kids. They'll be all dressed up. I've got a... Thought I had it in it. I haven't got it in it. There is a Halloween costume. A ghost. We really want to see that logo. Now remember, the 5 hour is statistically in our favour to what? Take the low. So the probability is that our low is yet to come, right? So we've still got probability on our favour. Now, segment 3 ends here. So the probability is all past this bit. So right now this includes 18% in here, which is up at 80%. So good chance of us taking this low. Right? What we don't want to do is take drawdown all the way through this and then get our low here. We want to try and capture the move. Here's our open. Push. Down. Let's have a look at some other stuff. We haven't looked at anything else. Woo! Where's gold? Where's gold? Wow. That was a cracking trade, that one, right? Everything aligning. Red, red, algo. Everything would have aligned. Hourly statistics, the lot. Would have absolutely cracking trade. Under stream or manage from your stream dashboard settings. Is this on YouTube? I've got to go to YouTube. I'm using OBS. Wow, what a run from gold. That would have been a great trade. YM. Nice confirmation on YM. No. Thought I'd set this up. Why has this gone hourly? We want YM. One late. Why is that doing that? Oh, I think it's because it's copying across. Yay. We are on regular trading hours. So remember, we got that sell signal there. Statistically, we had very high probability that was our high and that this low would go. That low goes. We got our sell signal here. Some good trades on YM as well. That's a shame. Obviously, we got the sell signal on ES last hour. That is a shame. CL. Bit messy, but you know. Not the greatest on CL. Euro USD. We are bearish. We are bearish. We've taken the low. We're structurally bearish. We've just taken that low. We're under. We're red. Could be a good short on USD. Let's go back to NQ. So right now, if we are bearish, then we can expect that high to be our high, right? With a 70% probability. Now, what have we got telling us we're bearish? We've got an algo that's saying there's a 69% probability. Okay. We're not sitting. This isn't fully confirmed. We are bearish. Let's look at the 15 seconds. 15-second is still not above, so it's be interesting to see whether that does want to come over. 10-second is just peaking. We'll see. Confirmation for us obviously would have been, would have taken that low, would have given us a little bit more confidence. Like we did on ES in the previous hour, right? Put in our high, took our low. ES has given us our buy signal, right? So statistically right now, we expect this to be our low, although we don't have everything aligning. We have gone blue on our dynamic TP. We are under, we're heavily under. But, you know, we have got mixed signals. Market structure is bearish. Trend AI is bearish. And we have two-ish bullish signals. But, yeah. Obviously, if NQ takes this, that will also confirm bullish. See how Tesla's doing. Sell signal on Tesla. Add that. 950. And again. In a strong bearish trend. Everything aligning. We can trade stocks. We can trade crypto. We can trade anything. As long as we've got a candlestick. Now, obviously, statistically, we do still expect this low to go, right? Doesn't mean it has to be here. Here is segment 3 of the 5 hour. We're not yet finished segment 3. We still have another 3 segments to go. And a 62% probability that we expect that low to go. What does that mean? It means we can mess around, get a confirmation, and expect our low to go. We're bearish until Trend AI is even saying we're bullish. What's the 3 hour stats? Yes, sir. No, not that one. So, where's our 3 hour? Well, our 3 hour is started here, right? 9, 10, 11. So we've got a little bit of time left on 3 hour, right? Okay, so if 3 hour is ending here, is that right? Yeah. So we're in segment 4, right? Let's have a look at our 3 hour stats. 3 hour. So obviously segment 1, segment 2. When we took that low, we got our high. So right now we still have our last segment to go. This is segment 3. Let's go up the time frame. Let's go up to 10 minutes. See if we can't get some more data. Hourly stats. We've not quite finished segment 5. Of the 541 candles, 37% were in the last segment. Yeah. So still a good chunk. Still a good probability that that's going to go. Obviously the 5 hour has got a 62% probability. Yeah, 37 as we drop down. Back to the 1 minute. Let's look at our algo on the 3 hour. We're in a sequence 1. Yep, until 12. Yep. That's our 3 hour stats. Would you like to know what the statistical probability is for the next 3 hours? When this one closes? We can do that. You can have a look at the next 3 hours if you want, lay it out. I'll take that as a, yeah, let's do it. Okay. Let's bring up our data table. We're in a segment 1. Wondering if I zoom in whether you can see it. No. Make any difference? There we go. So we are bearish, strong bearish, sequence 1, right? Strong bearish here, sequence 1. That's, sorry, sequence 2. So move out of the way. So we're a sequence 1, bearish, strong bearish, 94%, 332. So what am I looking on there? 385. 293. So 293. So we have a 76% is 2. And that means 71 bearish close. It is 214. Where's the 214? Oh, sorry. I've done my figures. I've done the wrong one. Yeah, you're right. Let me just change that. High time frame. Bearish from it's 214 by 332. 65%. Sorry? We have a 65% chance of sequence. Alright, let me just sort out my chart again. Let's hide that table. All right. We did not take that high. Right. We finished segment 3. We're in segment 4. Segment 4 and 5 is very much your delivery of direction. So a lot of the time, you know, you'll get that. Sometimes when it's messing around, you'll get that move in that last segment, or you know, kind of will just continue to trade down, right? But you can see, like, we've had strong hours on the open. Let's see if we can push down. Bit of a slow one. Stream before the open was good. Very exciting. Two trades up today. Don't have to trade. Don't desperately need to. But anytime there is a high probability trade, I'll take it. It's not about not trading. It's about just taking those ones. There's 5 of them. I'll take 5 of them. There's none. We take none. Right, come on, let's see if we can see something. Gold's hourly's buying. YM. Yeah. Yeah, we want to be kind of like trading with the most highest probability. When you get your buy signal, that is giving you your kind of like statistically most probable. Quite like. Not quite 50%. So if we've done, look, segment 1, 2, segment 3, we're in segment 4. No, it's just based on the hourly. That's why I say, obviously, when you get the buy and sell signal, it is backed by probability. That is giving you at that time, statistically, not only is it more probable that the low goes, but it is statistically in your favor that that current low of that buy signal goes as well. Yes, there is. Obviously, I've done a full videos. I'm continuing to add more videos based off of people's experience of what they are struggling with or need more explanation. So obviously, I put out a video last night going into much more detail of the hourly segments, understanding that, right? The Lazy Boy setup, there's going to be a video and a PDF guide. I am doing the videos, Tony's doing the PDFs, he's working his way through them, so everything will be documented. And, if you prefer to sit and look through it, you can sit and look through it. Obviously it's our first week, so getting people's feedback and improving on it is really important, which is what we're continuing to do. I'm trying to create shorter, snappier videos in the course, so you can find the section you're looking for and watch it 5-8 minutes and be done. I do speed up the videos in the course by 1.2 speed. Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of... And obviously when we talk about risk, right? We know that statistically it's in our favor of going down. We have a lot of other elements in our favor, right? Then it's just about risk. What is the risk? Yeah. And obviously you guys, you can trade it any way you like. You find your own little trades that you like to do, things you like to see, but as long as you're trading it with your probability, right, and you know it's in your favor. So what we know is this low here, this level, right, our algo is telling you, oh, this is on a 3 hour, let me put it back on an hour, that there's a 69% probability it's going to close below that level, right? So when we're above it, as long as everything's lining up with the trade, right? Everything's lining up, then these can potentially be points, where you're not just looking for lows, but you're expecting this hour to close below that level, right? So potentially sometimes they can be buy opportunities when we're above. I just want to keep everyone focused on kind of all of it being together. What the course video is going to be. So the course is going to be the course. I'm going to continue to do videos on YouTube. I'm going to be like putting out strategies that you can use, without the indicator. Obviously, it's always going to be more likely with the indicator, but still to try and help people. Good. Glad you had a good trade. And again, I want to be able to give people, like strategies and trade setups, some good ideas of things that you can do. But what I don't want to do is shut out that trade in your own way, trade in other styles. I want us to embrace everything, really. If you want to be a DR trader, brilliant. I hope it, adds a statistical edge to helping you, right? You confirm, yeah. It's like, where are you expecting your pullback? Where are you expecting price to go in the DR? When are you expecting it to go, right? It might be that you wait for the hourly to turn, give you the confirmation you've got a bearish hour, and then you're targeting your deviations, right? Fine. ICT. You want to trade an ICT kill zone? Perfect. Set the algo up for the kill zone, right? You've got your bias for your direction. Then you're just looking for your entry, right? And where you're looking to take profit at the end, right? However it is that you want to trade, I embrace it. This is about helping you kind of just have a statistical edge to that system as well. And let's just put it in perspective. We've plummeted as New York's opened. How many people do you think tried to catch the bottom? Which is the right trade? Say, for example, you caught this trade and it came up. Is that the right trade? No, it's not. Because, yes, you managed to pull some profit off it, but you could have taken virtually any other direction. They've taken any trade at any point in any of the other direction, and it played out for you. And that's why it's like, this is keeping us, all of these together, just keeping us waiting for that right setup. Take the fucking line. Sorry. Here's our low, here's our high. There's a cheap trade for YM. Congrats though, Trader Doug. Glad you had a good trade. Love seeing people succeed. I celebrate with your success. Hey, there's our low. Segment 4. 62% chance of that low going. Which it did. Oh, hang on. There we go. Yeah. Just dropped in segment 4 here for the 5-hour candle. Still good chance that we can put our low in here. That would have been one hell of a cheap trade. Now we go bullish, right? Of course it can. Can show you any FX pair that you'd like to look at. Put it in the chat if you want to look at something else. This is Euro USD. News. New York Open. So obviously this buy signal just gave us that probability that obviously our low was in for that hour, as you can see. We come up. We fail to take that high again. We are bearish on Euro USD anyway. You can see, obviously, we're taking the lows. But you can see how that confirms a bullish hour, failing to take that low. And then as soon as the new hour comes, as soon as we take this hour here, we're back in structure. Ideally, we wanted to see, you know, that low go sooner. Now it's gone. Obviously, this is our statistical high for the hour. We are bearish. Strong bearish on Trend AI. Bearish underneath here. Bearish on the Algo. Is there another pair you'd like to look at? How would we, for example, trade a silver bullet and could potentially avoid a loss? What is the time frame of the silver bullet you want to look at? What's it called? Kill zone. What's the kill zone? What's the kill zone time? Ugh. Apologies. I don't trade silver bullets. I don't know what the times are. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. 10 a.m. What time am I on here? I need to go on New York time. 10. Here, yeah? Well, that's perfect. Right here confirms you are not looking for a bearish trade. Obviously, you're still transitioning at this point, right? We're still bullish. We do come under here, but you're still transitioning. You've just transitioned bearish. You can see it's still weakening. We haven't confirmed that yet until here. This, obviously, signal, we can see on Euro USD, if we're going to be bullish, when we got that signal, we had a 73% probability of that being our low for the hour. I mean, that's probably on the 15 seconds. You got a gap, a bit of a tap in there maybe. But obviously it's a bit of a... I can understand why this one was a bit more difficult, because obviously you have such a large push down. You might have been looking for your bearish trade. I don't think there's a bearish fair value gap in there, is it? Oh yeah, this one here. Take that and boom. At this point here, obviously we are looking for our statistical edge. 20 minutes in, that gives us our statistical edge, confirming that this hour was more likely to be bullish. We go to another 10. Okay, here, obviously you've got more signals on the bullish side. We're above, we're bullish. Trend AI is strong, really good indication. This would have been a high probability sequence as well. Probably would have had high probability of this closing bullish. Here's your fair value gap. You'd be looking for a bullish one, right? Could have taken that one. High probability, our high is in the last segment. We can see that high is at 49. So you can see in this last segment here, we have a 61% probability of putting in our high here. And what Mohammed says. See you later, Aaron. See you later. Obviously, I'm not an ICT trader, so I can't explain his concepts as well as obviously you guys can. Obviously, my trading style is unique. Obviously, there's no one else that trades like me. It's just how I trade. Obviously, the only thing I'd say is, you know, the whole concept for what you're using, you could take that same concept and apply it to, like, where you get the algos giving you strong predictions, where everything's aligned. Treat that like your kill zones. Your kill zone is when you get, like, your high probability sequence one, strong bearish, strong bullish, you know, everything aligning. And then you're looking for your kind of the same trade setup that you're looking for, right? So we're bearish. Let's look at NQ. We continue to go down. Who thought that was going up? Not us. right? When we took this, confirmed our high, we're expecting lower price action. Our 3 hour and our 5 hour are still very bearish and still expecting us to push down. We've hit our high probability target for the hour as well, which is here and here, and we continue to push. YM, we get a buy signal. This is interesting. I appreciate that, buddy. But, you know, you get 2 weeks free. It's not a free product. It's taken me a lot of work to do, and I work all day and all night to deliver for you guys. You get 2 weeks. It's a lot of time. You can get there in 2 weeks. If you watch all the videos, you'll get it. You can watch all the videos in 1 day. If you did that every day, within 5 days, you'd know it. If you back-tested the hourlies, setting up the hour, 20 minutes in, confirming where the highs and lows are, putting a data on the chart, you'd know that within a day. I was thinking, obviously we've got nothing in our favour for longs here other than the data. Yeah. Most people who sell these usually give about 3 days on the systems. To be fair, we are going to drop the 14 days. I don't want to drop it that low. I want to keep it long enough. I think 10 days is where my head's sitting. I think that's long enough for people to really get an idea whether they want it or not. Nice. Cool, Mohammed. Gold's holding that low. Come all the way down. We did lose it on that one, but very strong. This is why we have everything aligning, right? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Indeed. You know how much I love my liquidity. Here we are. Remember we looked at those liquidity levels when we were here? We've come down and taken those ones. We were here. We have these levels now. Maybe we come down that far. It's quite a way. We are building plenty of liquidity above. Although our next level is still up here. Because we've moved down so far, we haven't been able to create any of the levels. Really strong. Interesting. Interesting. Well done. 1 hour up. That's a good day. It's profit. I mean, obviously, I literally could have sold at any point and been okay, but it's not always like that, right? Sometimes it's just an hour that we get that move, capture it, and we're done. Unfortunately, I haven't had any of the hours give me what I wanted. Obviously, here lined up beautifully. Got some great trades here. Yeah. So obviously YM giving us that buy signal, right? If we are going to go bullish, so we can say obviously we've taken that high, then we've done that in, so obviously segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, right? So we have all this data in the lows, in the highs. Obviously, the only thing I'd say is everything else is against us, right? So when are the hourlies most likely? When's the data? If you think about it, music's much better. Good. Still up 6%, man. That's amazing. Congratulations. 6% is a great month. So right now, obviously on YM, if you think about all the data, so if you think about there's a 66% probability that it's in the low and all that type of thing. If the overall trend is more bearish than it is bullish, do you think most of the failed hourly data comes when it's in a very strong trend? Because I do. So I actually think when I trade with all of my confluences, my hourly statistical data actually goes higher. And one of the things that will be coming, it's absolutely going to be built in, is that we're going to have, depending on what sequence you are, what is the layout of that sequence. So what is, in a strong bearish, in a higher time frame bearish, what is the probability of having the high and the low, etc., in the different segments? So it's not just on every hour and every hour candle, it will be on a very bearish candle, on a corrective candle, all that type of thing, right? So it'll give you an edge even more based on the type of hourly candle that you've got, how that sort of candle will form. So we have our nice sort of great data are important, but then we'll also then going to have our algo prediction in terms of how we think this hour, what's the probability of this hour being laid out based on the prediction. So we've always got our bullish bearish, as we know, but then we'll also have, does this increase the probability in the first segment of having our high in a bearish because it's so strongly bearish, etc., etc. But right now, obviously, we get a buy signal, and based on that data on YM, it is very, very high probability this is our low. So here, we take it in the third segment. That means 66%, 79%. Once 3's gone, we're like 90% probability that's our low, right? With 35, 50, 70% of the highs yet to come. I was looking for that trade. That's why I was checking here, checking YM. I was thinking about taking it just because that data is so strong. So strong. And obviously we've just gone into our third segment. Obviously the 1-to-1 would have played out, right? We get our buy signal, 1-to-1, done. Same thing here. Also would have played out. We wouldn't have got tagged in time on this one, but still, great signal. And our buy signal would have played out as well. Statistically, you're profitable. News would have played out. Don't think you got tagged in time. Would have played out. Didn't get tagged in time. Didn't get tagged. Might have got tagged. Would have played out if it did. Didn't get tagged. Oh, we get a buy and then a sell. Probably a loss. Wouldn't have got tagged. Wouldn't have got tagged. Would have been a loss. Wonder if that's news or an open. There's our low. Woo! You'd have just been okay. You'd have been fine. In fact, you'd have been there and you'd have been done. Here's a 1-to-1. Done. Here's a 1-to-1. Here's our low. Done. Lazy boy. Lazy boy setup. Absolutely. That was the trade. New hour. Ah. Thank you so much. That was such a nice thing to say, man. Especially from you. Got a lot of respect, man. A lot of respect. Appreciate it. And I welcome you. I look forward to working together. Hope you can help me, you know a lot about data and got some great ideas. Hope you can help shape it. Give us some ideas, things we could do, buddy. But pleased to have you on board. Okay, so our low for that hour is here. That was our statistical low on the 5 hour, right? Here's our segments. We've still got segment 5 and 6 to go on that 5 hour. Still a lot of data in here that we could put lows in. But I am going to have to call today's stream. I need to stick a Halloween outfit on. And I need to go and get some candy. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of a slow stream. I'd recommend rewatching this morning. Just skip to that video. It was brilliant. It's also quite entertaining. It was good. A great trade, breaking down in a bit more detail. And obviously I'll have the Lazy Boy video and details out to you as well. Hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow. I'll be live again tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed so you can get a notification. As always, guys, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. And have a great Halloween. Well done if anyone's obviously had some successful trades. If not, keep going. We'll go again. I'll see you later, everyone.